All right, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have something very interesting. Well, we usually have something interesting, but today is particularly interesting. This is ARMA Models 1/48 scale KA-52 helicopter. This is a fully 3D printed kit that comes from ARMA Models in Russia. It's kit number AM48200, I believe. And from what I can tell, it came out in approximately 2022. These are extremely hard to get here in the US, obviously with what's going on over there right now. And I think production was pretty limited to begin with, but I do have one here. I want to thank my friend Alex, who helped me get this. It was not easy. It was a long process, but here it is. I have the kit, and I also have some of the accessories that ARMA Model did to go with this kit in here. So we're gonna unbox everything and take a look at it together. We'll go through the instructions, even though they're all in Russian, I believe, and we'll look at the parts. The parts look incredible. I have been in here, and they look really nice. So let me get everything out, and we'll be right back. All right, before I get everything out of this box, I do wanna kind of show everyone what it looks like when you open it. There is a piece of bubble wrap on top. The instructions are in there. They're folded over a little bit. They are completely in Russian, but from what I can see, it looks pretty clear. Alex, my friend who helped me get this, has also kindly gone through and provided a translation to me, so I know roughly what I'm doing and what goes where. So that's very helpful. He gave it to me as a PDF document. I have that somewhere else, but we'll look at what comes in the kit. So what came in here is obviously all the other parts on the bottom. The accessories that I got with this are the Quinta interior decal set that is specifically designed for this kit. It includes things such as the instrument panel and the other consoles. I got the, watch as I butcher these names, this is one of the anti-tank missile pods or pylons. It comes like this. We'll take a look at this in a minute. I also got the fuel tanks that are a separate item. They are all in Russian, so I can't read any of that. But this is another set of missiles, like a rack of missiles in here. That's also 3D printed. Again, I can read none of that. So this is a mask set, which is nice. This is a set of resin seats for this kit, also made by ARMA. This is the little, kind of the seeker head on the front, which is kind of like the little optical thing that has all little apertures there. Comes with some clear pieces as well as some iridescent film you can see in the corner there. And then we're into, I believe I got a gun barrel for this too, but I don't know where I put it. We'll look at the parts here in a minute. I'm just gonna get all of them out. So you see there's the cockpit tub and some other items here. So we'll take them all out. And then this video is gonna help me put this all back in the box, hopefully. So that layer of styrofoam comes, or that layer of packing peanuts comes out. And oh yeah, so here is the windscreen and the canopies right here. Not looking forward to that. Oh yeah, here's the barrel for the side-mounted cannon. Again, there's the muzzle brake for it, very nicely done in brass. This is another ARMA official accessory. And then down here are magnets for the kit. So the rest of the kit is down in the bottom of this box here. I'm gonna organize myself a little bit and we'll come right back to it. Okay, so I have all the parts here, pardon the mess, it's kind of just all laid out randomly, but we'll take a look at the instructions first. Obviously everything is in Russian, so I will be able to translate none of that for you right now, but looks like step one, first page here, you start off with the cockpit. Obviously everything is 3D printed on all these frames here, so there's very little in terms of parts count. It's a lot of things are done as one piece. You could see as like the fuselage and stuff like that. So showing kind of the cockpit going together, you got seats, the overhead console, the instrument panel, That's where we'll fit the Quinta set at some point, showing another angle of it, adding the control sticks and such. Little side controls here as well. And then building the kind of contra-rotating rotor head. You have two rotor heads, obviously, that spin opposite of each other. You have the blades. I believe the rotor head is actually, we'll see here in a minute, I believe the rotor head is actually 3D printed in, these two pieces are one piece each, so you don't have to deal with all these linkages and cabling and stuff like that. It's actually quite incredible. So we'll look at that in a minute. They're all right down there. Then adding the rotor blades in, the rotor blades are right there. Next page is adding the various details onto the fuselage. The fuselage actually, incredibly, being one single piece of printing, saves you a lot of cleanup. You do have a lot of these little supports to chop off, but that's arguably better than sanding fuselage seams and replacing rivets and such. So little piece you have to remove there, showing you adding various details, the nose, the little kind of sensor pod, the landing gear, I would assume, some details that go on the side of the canopy of the cockpit, some panels and such. But I'll just kind of pan through this because I don't know what any of that says. So just take it all in here for what it is. Adding in the little stub wings, adding the engine covers right there, some stuff for the cockpit, and then more detailed views showing various little pitot tubes and antennas and stuff like that, little boarding ladders or boarding steps going in, grab handles, the windshield wipers, some details around the airframe, various grab handles. These are all 3D printed pieces. I'm not confident in my ability to remove these from the frames without breaking them. So a lot of these I may end up replacing with like really fine wire, probably help with strength long term too. But more details going around the airframe right there, showing the bottom now. This multicolored view is actually quite useful because it helps to sort of differentiate what you're adding and various pieces that are 3D printed in, I guess, like various sub-assemblies that go together. Then page after that is showing some of the details on kind of the rear engine deck or the engine coaming right there, adding in the cockpit, the windscreen or the canopy pieces, showing how the final model comes together with the rotor and the contra-rotating prop added in. Some little details on how to use the magnets that come, little micro magnets. I guess you could change the ordnance load. That'd be kind of nice. Actually thinking ahead there for the modeler. And then that's it, actually. It's like 3 pages front and back, and that's the instrument, or that's the instruction manual. So yeah, let me organize the parts a little bit and we'll take a look at those. All right, so this is the entirety of all the parts that you get. This little pile here, that stuff is aftermarket. We'll take a look at in a minute, but this is everything you get. These are some parts that in its long journey from the Far East got kind of knocked off of the print frames, and I put all of them in this baggie here just to make sure they don't get lost. I have been in here to look at it because honestly I've had this for a while, and yeah, I was too excited when I got it, so I cracked it open immediately. But I've been seeing some people ask about it or like seeing some posts about it recently, so I thought I would do this video and show you guys what's in the box. Probably very rarely to see one of these in the US. So we'll start immediately, take a look at the major part, which is this fuselage. And as you can see, it is 3D printed in one piece. So the bottom fuselage all the way up until essentially the radome, which goes on the front here, and the nose gear bay is one piece. And from what I can tell, the cockpit tub is actually in there as well. So you can kind of see through the bottom here, like the side of the canopy would line up along that edge. You can see all the airframe details are printed onto this, as well as some very, very fine raised and recessed details. There's obviously some leftover residue from the print, but nothing that is really a major issue. There's no major print lines anywhere. Everything is very, very sharp. There's a little bit of residue here that would clean up with some alcohol, I think. But other than that, everything is extremely cleanly done and very, very sharp. Honestly, if more kits were done like this, I think it would save builder a lot of work. Normally, you'd have a seam that probably would run down the side, down the middle here. You'd have all this detail that you'd have to put back or sand away, or this entire tail might be separate and you'd have to add it yourself, and it'd be some ugly line here that you have to line up. But not here. Everything is one piece, including some of these details on the bottom. That's like some kind of a spotlight, I would guess, like the lens for it. And then nose gear bay, nose gear would go there. And yeah, so a little quick flyby for you of the bottom, just showing the details again. And then we'll take a look at the other parts. Again, like on other kits, all this stuff you'd have to drill a hole from the inside and mount it, then remove the seam, but not here. Everything is molded together. There's a little bit of a mold seam right there that I would say you could scrape off, but all this vent detail is very, very nicely done and very, very sharp. So yeah, that's the main fuselage. And yeah, so we'll move on with the other sort of salmon colored parts here. This piece obviously took a little bit of an impact in transit, but you can see the cockpit kind of floor in there. You can see the molded in or printed in control panels. Nothing super crazy detailed, but on par with any other real like injection molded kit, really. You can see some of the details of this flare or countermeasures launcher right there, molded in or printed in. You can see some detail on the bottom of the pylons. They have pre-drilled holes for those little micro magnets that we were looking at a moment ago. And then there's the instrument panel. For that, there's the nose cone in one piece right there. This is the back wall of the cockpit. There's one of the wheels. There's the other main wheels. The tails, here's another nice detail. The tails, like the tail planes and the vertical tails at the end of the tail planes, are molded or printed as a single piece. So no need to worry about alignment or like trying to clean up this little seam in here. Everything is a single piece in there. So very, very nicely done. And on this piece, even the little kind of little aerodynamic fairing there, some kind of maybe an like a power unit or something, is molded on. So no need to try to line it up. Detail on the bottom of the pylons there is very, very sharp. Nicely done. And then what's great is for those who wish to use the Quinta stuff, they included this. So this is a blank of the cockpit pieces. Basically, this is the same as this piece down here. That piece, which is the cockpit floor with the consoles molded in. So that piece is a direct replacement for that, but with no detail. So you could easily just add the Quintus set onto that. There's a blank for the instrument panel as well. You can see down in there as a replacement for that piece right there. As you can see, there's a blank. So paint it up, add the Quinta piece, and you're good to go. So this is a very nice addition to the kit. That's great to see. Really thinking ahead for the modeler. We'll move on with the other salmon colored piece here. This is the stub wings. And again, they are molded as a single piece. So no need to line up pylons, no need to clean up an awkward seam in here. Everything is a single piece. Just cut it off these sprues, clean up the little attachment points, which there aren't that many actually, sand them a little bit, polish them up, and you're good to go. So yeah, these are the stub wings, pylons already attached. So cut them off, glue them onto the fuselage. Next we have, well, yeah, we'll look at this. This is another really cool piece. This is obviously the rotor assemblies, and you can see the rotor heads are molded or printed as a single piece. So all the cabling, all of that, the little linkages and stuff for both of the kind of contra-rotating rotors is printed together. So all the bolt detail, everything is clean. Normally on a plastic kit, all these little linkages right there, probably separate pieces you got to clean up. You might lose them, but no, here everything single piece. Also the main gear legs, you can see printed brake lines or hydraulic lines onto that gear. I'm a little concerned about how much, I mean, this doesn't weigh that much, but still this little linkage here, potentially a weak spot in the kit. I don't see anyone doing replacements in metal, so be super careful if you're building this. But yeah, the two rotor heads, incredible detail, as well as the gear legs. This is the front framing for the canopy or the windscreen. These are the kind of canopy pieces that do open. You can see a lot of printed raised detail on those. Different size rivets, latches, everything printed on. And yeah, so that's that. And then this little frame here, we're not going to cut all these open. These are the rotor blades. They are printed with like a pre-done droop. So that's nice to see right there. Not a whole lot to see. All 6 of them are in there. These are the exhausts. Again, single piece done. You can see normally there'd be like ejector pin marks in there or like halves where you have to glue these together. Not here. Single piece, cut them off, glue them on, or paint them, glue them on, and then you're good to go. But very, very nicely done. There's some printed raised ribbing in there as well. These are some little details that go on the airframe or some of the vents. So you can see printed vent detail, very, very sharply done. Some of these go on the back of the engine housing, I think. This is the printed machine gun that goes on the side. You can see through the side here, we're going to cut this barrel off and use the metal piece, but you can see all the cabling and such is printed on. So this is, again, single piece. No need to fiddle with all that wiring and stuff. Cut it out, paint it up, glue it on. This piece is what has me worried. Some of these little printed handles and stuff, I don't see surviving me cutting them off and cleaning them up. So I'd probably be replacing a lot of this stuff with like wire or something like that. You can see also the windshield wipers, very finely done there. Just a lot of little airframe details, antennas and stuff here. So yeah, nicely done. And then these are obviously little micro magnets. We won't get those out. And then these are some pieces that fell off the sprues, but I ended up just picking them out of the bubble wrap and keeping them. So next, we'll take a look at the aftermarket here, and then we'll close this out. All right, and we're back. So we'll start in the cockpit with this aftermarket stuff. So this is the specific Quinta, obviously being a Russian company. I guess they worked with ARMA, and they put out this 3D decal cockpit set for it. So you can see the instrument panel as well as the consoles molded or, well, printed onto here. Nice relief on those. You can see nice glossy screens as well. So the kit, as I mentioned before, includes these blank cockpit pieces. So you'll be able to paint these up. There's also the instrument panel blank right there. Add these 3D decals onto them and you're good to go. So that's the 3D decal set. This is the set of seats. So you get 2 seats, obviously, with the belts all molded on. Better than the kit seat, or well, the ones that come in the kit. So you have the headrest, the lap belts, everything here included. So that's the set of seats. We're not going to get this out of the bag. This is the, as I mentioned before, the barrel for the cannon. So 2 pieces, barrel, kind of muzzle brake is done in brass as well. And then we have some of the, we have the optical sensor sort of piece that goes on the front under the nose cone. So you can see kind of some of the internal optics that are molded in there, as well as the cover. And you get a sheet of clear acetate for the actual lenses. I think you insert that from the back. And you also get a little bit of holographic film you can see in this bag here to add to this. So that's that. These are the fuel tanks. I think they're 500 gallon. I don't know exactly, but you can see the printed detail is fantastic on these. The raised ribbing, as well as the fill-in caps, the strengthening plates, a little piping that runs down them. Very nicely done. The tail cones are separate at the bottom there. These also come with a set of magnets in here somewhere that you'll be using to attach them to the fuselage. Oh, they're right there. To the pylons. So come with that. This is a set of, I believe, some form of anti-tank missile that comes molded or printed as a rack in here. So getting this out is going to be quite tricky. Go slowly and make sure you don't break anything. But again, you can see very finely printed details on those. The little latches down the side down there are all very, very sharp. Not any sign of print lines or anything. This is another rack of missiles here that comes as a 6, and it actually comes attached to the pylon. that it normally, that it attaches the aircraft with. So painting this is going to be interesting. I don't know what color these are. Hopefully everything's probably a similar color. Otherwise, masking this is going to be interesting. But it is cool to see having everything printed together. There's a slot for a magnet on the top there, but this is everything printed together. It will help with alignment and cleanup, but not so much with painting, I think. So that could be an issue. This, again, here, we'll take a look at, is the clear parts. So vac form, clear plastic, nothing really to complain or comment about other than that this is not going to be fun. But yeah, so that's that. This is the sheet of masks. Would have liked to see kabuki tape, like the yellow rice paper tape that Tamiya does. But this is, I think, some kind of vinyl. Probably end up scanning these and printing them, you know, on a Cricut to be able to use that yellow tape. But yeah, final thing I wanted to mention is these are the clear parts that do come with the kit. That's the HUD, I believe. And then you can see two lenses down there for the spotlights on the bottom of the fuselage. One of the limitations that I've noticed of 3D printed clear plastic is that it's not very clear. The good news is those two lenses are just round lenses, so replace them with clear epoxy or like UV glue or something. The HUD I will look at once I do get it out. The glass may be salvageable with a little bit of Future or something on it, or a little quick polish somehow, but yeah, so clear parts in the kit, not ideal. Vac form, not going to be fun, but we'll work through it. So yeah, that is ARMA Hobbies 1/48 scale KA-52 Alligator helicopter. This is, again, the box art for it. You can see kind of two of the built up images on the side here. This should be a very quick build. I mean, the fuselage, as you can see, is one piece, and everything else is really designed for a very efficient build. The single piece rotor heads, the single piece wings with the pylons attached. This eventually will make it to the bench. Obviously, I do have a lot of other builds that are currently in progress, but if you wish to follow along, please do check out our Facebook page and the Instagram page. But yeah, if you have any questions about this kit, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And again, thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.